Okay, welcome to our Wednesday class, our conditioning for BrAMS. As you may notice, we are this week in the gym through the modern wonders of technology. We have managed to find ourselves in the gym today. Welcome to all of our new people, and welcome back to those who come to this class on a weekly occasion. Now what this is, just to let you know, this is a class that is put together by myself in conjunction with the BrAMS unit down at Southmead Hospital. So generally this class is there for those who have been sent this way by Olivia, Sophie, one of the nurses, neurologists, or the physiotherapists down at the BrAMS department. And the class is aimed at that kind of population as well, so those people who are dealing with MS and those kinds of things. You'll know who you are because you'll have been sent here directly to do it. Obviously, my name's Rich. Hi, sorry about that. All I ask of you today is that you take it easy and you work within your own abilities, okay? Everything that we're doing is based on trying to perfect ranges of motion, trying to improve confidence through motion, and build a little bit of strength, a little bit of brain kind of coding for the body movements that we're going to be doing today. So only work in conjunction with how you feel today. Don't worry if how you felt last week or anything like that. We're just looking for you to do the best that you can today. It's not a class where we're looking to get kind of out of breath, we kind of get sweaty or anything like that. It really is just perfecting the movements as much as we can. If at any point you do feel any kind of situation with your symptoms, those kinds of things, those are the kinds of things you need to refer back to the people you're dealing with down at BrAMS. If you've got any further questions about movements or about anything that we do in the class specifically, then this is the modern wonders of technology, so you can drop a message somewhere in the Facebook group, and I'll try and answer it to it. There is a slight delay, it's about 10 seconds or so between what I'm saying and what you can hear, you see. And also, obviously I'm here with the camera and the computer's over there, so I will endeavour to hopefully answer any questions that come up, is what I'm basically saying, long and short of it. And things you're going to need today: a nice sturdy chair is something I would really recommend. A lot of the work we're going to be doing today is based on the chair itself. In the chair, you can take some of the movements of the chair and do them standing if you prefer. If you want that extra bit of balance challenge, that's perfectly fine. But for the most part, we're working within the chair. I do thoroughly recommend a chair with arms. A chair with arms means we're going to have a little bit more kind of to support ourselves, to help with movements and those kinds of things. When we do some of the bits and bobs that we're going to do, having that extra anchor could help us should you need it throughout. You may need a cool drink, something that I've completely forgotten to get, but you might want like a nice chilled water, something along those lines, to help kind of maintain the inner body core temperature and those kinds of things in situations like that. You may want a towel, something like that, if you get a little bit sweaty for any reason as well. But for the most part, that's all we're going to need. Make sure you've got a nice bit of space all around you. Make sure you've got space above you and all those kinds of things. There's no animals running around or anything along those lines. And that's about it. The only thing that we should be feeling today, apart from a great sense of well-being, is minor kind of discomfort within muscles, okay? We shouldn't be feeling any kind of pain in joints like your knees, wrists, or anything along those lines. We are only looking to do work muscularly, so if you do feel any problems in joints, those kinds of things, do drill it back a little bit. See if you can take it down a level and perfect the movement, because in the muscles is really where we want to be doing it. Generally, if you feel the pain in the muscles, and that's in the joints, those kinds of things, that's a sign that your muscles aren't working properly, that you're not engaging them as you could be doing, okay? So it's always worth taking a step back, trying to find the muscles and let the muscles do the work and all those kinds of things. That's about it, really. We should really get on with it and do a bit of a warm-up, I guess, from there. If you're obviously watching on YouTube or on the catch-up, then please ignore that bit I said about kind of leaving a message, because I won't be able to read it or answer you because it won't be live anymore. But such is life. back on those tunes if you've got some music on in the background at home or you want some to get yourself going. And apart from that, let's get on to the warm-up. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to mobilize our joints, and we're looking to get the muscles either side of those joints working a little bit from there. Okay, we're going to go up one side of the body, then we'll go up the other side of the body. Nice and easy and in control. So we're starting down at the feet, and we're going to do toe circles. So drawing your toe in the biggest circle that you can in one direction. And everything that we're doing today is fully controlled. So don't let gravity take over. Don't drop anything or anything along those lines. If it's difficult to keep your leg off the floor to allow those toe circles, keep a toe on the floor and just draw circles with the heel instead. Okay, so either way, the ankle is getting mobile. Let's take it back the opposite way. The ankle is turning circles, and everything surrounding it that does the ups and the downs and all those kinds of things, those muscles are getting a little bit of mobilization. So we're taking it from there now. Our main point of emphasis is going to be the knee. So once again, if you're happy and you're feeling confident, drawing circles with the knee. Biggest range of motion that you can today, whatever that would be for you. If it's difficult to take the leg off the floor, leave the foot on the floor. Now just concentrate drawing as big a circle with the knee as you can. If you want to shift towards the edge of your seat to give yourself a bigger range of motion, because you might have arms in your chairs which are getting in the way, then you by all means shuffle on out to the edge and get a nice big circle going on with the knee. Let's take it the opposite direction as well. And we'll come into bum position in the seat a little bit before we get started with the main circuit of the class, because it's very important that we discuss that and how you can make some of your movements a little bit more challenging from there. Good. Going to the upper body next. Next big joint we want to kind of mobilize is our shoulders. So let's just go ahead and put our hand on our shoulders and just do nice big circles one way or the other, either forwards or backwards. It's completely up to you at this point. We are going to go both ways. Try and keep your sitting posture up nice and straight the best you can. One of the cues I always talk about is, let's take the arm the opposite way now. One of the cues I always talk about is like you're in assembly. So if you hark back to the good old nursery school days and you had to sit up straight in assembly and all those kinds of things, think something along those lines. So that's great work from there. Now, wrists. Okay, so if you're like me and you've got the window open, I'm not at home anymore, I'm in the gym obviously. But if I was at home, and if you are at home and you're working up by a window, it's almost like you're waving to the people on the way past. Let's go the opposite way as well. Hello, people, yes, I'm exercising on a beautiful Wednesday daytime. Lovely stuff. We're going to go back down now to the opposite side. So once again, I have raised my foot just a little bit, just to kind of give you that idea. It's those big circles with the toe, round and round as best as we can go. Whatever your range of motion is, you go around one way. Remember, if we can't keep the leg off the floor, keep the toe on the floor, and then just concentrate on circles with the heel. Let's take it the opposite way as well. So we are going both ways, letting it all know what's going on. Great work. And now we take our emphasis to that knee again. So it's as big a range of motion that we can do with that knee. Around one way, and I'm just kind of coming forward out of my seat, opening, making sure there's enough space for my leg to do these nice big circles. Once again, if we find it tricky to keep our leg off the floor, keep the foot on the floor, and this time you're concentrating on the knee, remember. So before you may have been doing the heel, now it's definitely the knee. Good stuff. Can we go the opposite way? Let's go the opposite way anyway. Even if it's a little bit of extra mobilization, that's fine. And if you are taking your foot off the floor and we're bringing it back down on the floor, let's say we're doing this every single rep, don't just drop it down. Control it all the way through. Lovely stuff. Okay, so we've done our leg down that side. Let's get to the upper body. So we're going to take a hand on the shoulder. Once again, nice big rotations forward. There we go. Nice and in control once again. Trying to make sure that our shoulders don't go up towards our ears or anything like that. We don't want this shoulder up here. We want to keep those shoulders down as best we can. Let's take it the opposite way as well. I think I went forwards. Nice and in control as we go throughout. And then we take it back down to that wrist. So if you weren't waving to the people in the window or outside the window before, you probably are now, like me. I mean, not like me because I'm in the gym and I'm waving to people over there in the gym still. Hi, people in the gym. We're very naughty. And the opposite way as well. Good stuff. We're going back down to our feet again. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to do everything together. So if you are happy with both legs off the floor, okay? Oh, there we go. And then we're doing our toes round one way. Completely up to you which way round you're going. If we're not happy, especially now there are 2 feet off the floor, keep your toes on the floor and draw big circles with the heels. Okay, so the concentration is on the heels here. It's not on the knees. Okay, don't worry about the knees. That's going to come next. And we're going the opposite way as well, obviously. Great work. And then we go to the knees, so it's the same thing. If we can do it both at the same time, obviously if we need to make space to make the circles even bigger, then by all means do. This is a lot more taxing. There's a lot more of our core moving in this one. If we can't keep our legs off the floor that long, then just concentrate on biggest circles. Remember, you're drawing circles now with the knees. So keep those knees going. Nice big circles as best you can, and the opposite way as well. And remember, if you are taking your feet off the floor, don't just drop them down with gravity. Bring them down slowly and in full control. Okay? Great stuff all the way around your big, huge range of motion. Great stuff. Okay, up to the top of the body. Both hands on the shoulders, nice big rotations. Nice and controlled, keeping those shoulders down and away from our ears. I was going to say away from our shoulder blades. That would not help at all. And let's go backwards. Great work. Nice big circles. And then with our wrists. So we can go one way. Nice and controlled. Let's go the opposite way. Great stuff. Okay, good posture, good control, good base. Now let's move the neck. Nice and slow. We don't need any jerky motions or anything like that. It's just nice, slow, controlled. Let's hold it down at the bottom. Let's bring it high, down at the bottom. Bring it high, back to neutral. We'll take it to one side. We're not forcing any range of motion here. You're literally just going until there is a natural stop in the motion from there. Good stuff. Okay. Feet are set nice and firm on the floor. Upper body posture is set. And now we're just going to take one arm to the side and then back. One arm, back to the lap. One arm, back to the lap. So we've got this constant movement on the go. And back to the lap. And now we're going up. And each range of motion, you're just going to take as far as you can comfortably. Okay? So regardless of what I'm doing, every movement today, you just do as far as you can. And then we go back to the side again. What we're going to do next is we're going to go back up. And then we're going to start to do some quarter moons as well. Okay? So back up. Hop, down, hop, down, hop, down, hop. Rotate down, up, rotate down. That's what we're doing. Half quarter moon-ish down. Nice and in control. Good stuff. Okay, so here's how we're going to do it today. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different movements, okay? We're going to do each movement for about 45 seconds, okay? During that time, remember, like I said at the beginning, it's about perfecting the movements and doing as well as you can with each of the movements. Once we've done 45 seconds, we're then going to take a 75-second rest break between the rounds, and then I'll talk to you about the next movement that we're going to do. So, Our first movement, as it always is, it's going to be our sit to stand. So there's a whole range of different versions of this that we can do to change the challenge factor for you, okay? We always start with each repetition with all of our weight being held with our bum, okay? And what we're looking to do is we're looking to transfer our weight onto our feet. So to start with, what I want you to do is work on that. If you've got the side of your chair to hold, then great, you can rock up onto them and then back down. Transferring my weight from my bum onto my feet and back down. If you haven't got arms, maybe we've got hands on our knees to start with, and then we take our hands away to kind of move weight onto the feet and then dropping back down. We're trying to get slowly back into the chair on each one of those, okay? So if you can, try and get it as slowly back into the chair as possible. If we're happy with that, then we take it, once we've got ourselves up off of our with our weight through our feet, then it's into the full stand, my head disappears, and we come back down to the start, okay? So that's what we're looking to do, and we're going 45 seconds worth of work. Haven't set up my iPad today, which is probably a mistake, but here we go. So sit to stand or full stand from the chair, 45 seconds, off we go. And so it's really just controlling the movement as much as you can. And as we move up the scale of challenge, you know, we've got the supported weight shift, we've got a supported full stand, and then you start working on the unsupported weight shift, the unsupported full stand. As you work through each one of them, I want you to really concentrate on the timings, okay? So if it's taking you 2 seconds to get up to the top of your movement, make 2 seconds back down. Those kinds of things, because we want to work on that back down movement just as much. 3, 2, 1. Time for our first one. Lovely stuff. So with a lot of these next movements, okay, you can change the difficulty just by how you change where you sit on the chair, okay? The further back in the chair your bum is, so the more contact of your thigh is in, the more of your thigh is in contact with the chair, then the easier this is going to be for you because you don't have to balance as much, okay? So if you want to start challenging yourself, you need to start shimmying the butt towards the end of your seat a little bit more. What you can also do to challenge yourself a little bit more is what you do with your feet. Wider feet means a nice big wide base, which means more balance. The closer your feet get, the more challenging it becomes. To the point where if you stack one foot toe to toe, or heel to toe, sorry, like this, right at the edge of your seat, this is going to be the most challenging for your balance. Okay? So, taking that into account, you're now going to be able to, in future, if something's a little bit easier for you and you want to introduce a certain extra element of balance involved in each of your movements, think about your bum position. So we're going to do forward punches. Good posture. 3, 2, 1. 45 seconds of just bringing one arm forward, back. And we're trying to bring our hands up to shoulder level and then return them back to the chest. If you're not a violent person, maybe you do palms, open palms. Pow-pow. Maybe if you were around in the 90s partying, maybe you just throw those blades out to the lasers. Blades to the lasers. But it's nice and slow, nice and controlled. And we've got 15 more seconds. Remember, you're going at your own pace, your own speed. And remember that rhythm. If it's taking 2 seconds to get to the end, take 2 seconds to come back. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Time. Lovely stuff. So that's what you want to do. It's all about controlling the motion throughout. Okay, we go back down to the legs next. We're going to do some calf raises. Okay, so all we're looking to do, let's get a good side view on this one, because the side view is the one that really helps with this one a little bit more. Careful not to mark my gym floor. Remember what I said about your bum position in the chair. So the further back in, the more of your legs that is established with the chair, the easier this is going to be for your balance, okay? So if you want to start challenging yourself a little bit more, we shuffle that bum towards the edge of the seat a little bit more, okay? All I'm asking you to do, sit up straight, good body posture, and raise the heels as high as you can. Hold them for about a second, maybe 2 seconds, and then lower them down again. That's all we're looking to do. Try and keep your knees apart. Don't let them collapse in on each other. Try and keep your posture back so your shoulder blades in your back pockets. And we're going to go for 45 seconds. Remember that pause at the top of the motion is the key aspect here. Off we go, 45 seconds. Up, I'm holding, I'm lowering back down. Up, I'm holding, I'm lowering back down. So you're pushing those heels as high as you can, up onto the balls of your feet before coming back down. And once again, think about that rhythm. If it takes you 1 second to bring your feet up, take 1 second to lower it back down. You've got 15 seconds left. If you're taking 3 or 4 seconds a rep, that's less than 5 reps. So this is it. We're looking for control. We're looking for muscle tension. We're not looking for sweat or tears or anything like that. 3, 2, 1. Lovely stuff. Okay, so I'm going to come back around now and face the front again, face the front of the class. And what we're looking to do this time is we did those punches forward. We're going to go straight up to the sky. Okay, now during our warm-ups, we did them one at a time. This time we're going to go dual action. Okay, so once again, to challenge yourself a little bit more, it's about bringing that bum closer to the edge of the seat, putting more weight through your feet, whether they are slightly wider for bigger base or slightly closer or even 1 foot in front of the other, okay? That's how you're going to determine the challenge level for yourself on this one. So if you're firmly planted at the back, it's 2 up, 2 down. Obviously, like I say, if you're right at the front of your seat, maybe you've even got heel to toe, same situation, good posture, high, and then low. Okay, so we've got 45 seconds, and really just get it to the edge of your range of motion the best you can, whatever that is for you today, on each and every rep. Maybe even hold it up there for half a second. Here we go, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Control up, and then back down to the lap. We're going all the way up, and then back down. And really do pretend that you're pushing something up. Maybe you're pushing a box up. Maybe you're pretending to be Hulk Hogan or the Ultimate Warrior and you're body pressing somebody up in the air. Whatever it will be, you're pushing up. So what I mean by that is I don't want you to kind of laterally raise it up at the front and then back down. It really is like, oh, I've got a load on my shoulders, let's push it on up and then bring it on back down. We got 4 seconds to go. That's probably enough for 1 more push up and then back down. There we go. Lovely stuff. Okay, so the next movement we're looking to do is knee raises. Depending on how MS affects you, depending where you are in your MS journey, will really kind of depend on how far and how much mobility you've got through this motion, okay? But just like in the warm-ups, just like with every other motion that we're doing today, I'm just looking for you to do the best that you can do today, because that's all we can do. And besides, no one's watching unless you've got a dog in the room or something along those lines. So the knee raise is all we're looking for. Now the key aspect of this movement that I want you to kind of concentrate on is when you get to the end of your range of motion, is to pause for a second or two. So it's not just raising the knee and bringing it back down, because anyone can just throw a knee up a little bit higher than normal, but we want to get it up, we want to control it, and then bring it back down. So we want that pause at the top. Okay, so I'm going to come just round to the side, and remember, if you want to add more of a balance challenge, shift that bum towards the end of the seat. Okay, we got 45 seconds, alternate leg knee raises, good posture, off we go. So we're up, we're pausing, and then we're lowering it back down. We're up, and we're pausing, and we're lowering back down. Notice how my posture very rarely changes, okay? I'm doing my utmost, I have my core controlling what my pelvis is doing, what my upper body is doing. And the whole time I could be mistaken for being in assembly, trying to get out first. And that's really how you want to gauge your range of motion. When your knee raises, if you find your posture breaking down for any reason, stop the knee raise and then take on to the next one. We want to keep the posture the entire time. 3 seconds. There we go, lovely stuff. Knee raise is done. Good stuff. We come back round to the front now, because we are going to do some twists next. As always, the position of your bum in the seat is what's going to really kind of change the balance factor on this one. It's going to be another extra bit at the end of this that you can do should you want a little bit of extra twist as well. Essentially, all we're going to do is we're going to sit up nice and straight in good posture like we've been doing all session, and we are drawing ourselves from side to side, led by our shoulders, okay? So it's not looking, that's not the twist we're looking for. That is not the twist you are looking for. It's literally the shoulder going round as far as you can. We're keeping both butt cheeks on the floor. Not on the floor, on the chair. Because if your butt cheeks are on the floor, then your chair wasn't as sturdy as I said it should have been. Led by the shoulder, not by the head. In addition, if you want to push that trailing arm across the body as well, reaching across, by all means do. Across and a reach and then back. 45 seconds, off we go. Remember that extra challenge should you want it. Shifting that bum towards the end of your seat. That's going to give you a little bit more work to do in regards to stabilization. Especially if you can start to get a little bit more of your weight through your foot as you go. Now, because of what we're doing here, because of this twisting nature, we do have muscles in place which are helping and supporting and those kinds of things, but it's the kind of movement I don't like to see anybody do jerkily. And that is a word, I've just made it up. So nice and smooth into it as far as you can, nice and smooth out. Brilliant, there's our 45. Final one, before we go back to the beginning and go through them all once more, it's going to be the floor touch. Okay, now with the floor touch, what I'm looking for us to do is basically sit there nice and straight, touch the floor pretty much around where your butt is. Okay, now obviously you can't go through the chair, I get that. But what I'm looking for as I turn myself round here is what you'll see is right now, here's my butt, here's my shoulder. I'm just looking to come straight down at the side and touch that floor. Same on the opposite side and touch the floor. Okay, so I'm literally just being like a pendulum from side to side. There's no forward motion, there's nothing like that. Making it more challenging, as I've said many times before, is all about shuffling that bum towards the front of the seat, because the more weight that you are taking off the chair, more of my balance is involved. Those of you who have stabilization challenges will know that, you know, the more you shift your bum towards the end of the seat, the more challenging it is with your weight. So regardless of your challenge factor or what you want to do today, touching the floor, 45 seconds, let's go. Think about that good posture. If you can't get to the floor, don't worry, just take it as far as you can, but try and maintain that good kind of movement, just literally side to side. Both butt cheeks are on the seat, going all the way down, touching the floor, just at the side of those hips to that butt. Nice, slow motion. Just like the twist, we're not looking to ram ourselves to the far end of our range of motion or anything like that. It quite literally is a nice, slow, controlled motion. If you need it, you've obviously got arms on the chair to help you towards the end should you need it, but we shouldn't. That's time for that one. Lovely stuff. Okay, so we've gone through once. We're going to go through one more time, and then we'll do a cool down and we'll be done for the day. Brilliant. So those are our 7 motions. None of them are really too new for those of you who are regularly doing the class. Now, one of the things that I do like to talk about, and we'll get on back to the sit to stand in a moment, is talking just about consistency. So the development of anything within the human body, within the human brain, comes through consistency. You don't ever get good at doing something just the one time. Okay? Think back to when you learnt to write. Think back to when you learnt maths or language as a child. Think back to any kind of sport that you've ever done, new jobs that you've started and everything like that. It's very rare to pick up a new skill just like that. It's about consistently doing the same things over and over again until you get better at them. So that's one of the reasons why week in and week out, a lot of our classes do kind of keep doing the same movements, because the more that we can do them, the more consistent that we can be with them, the better hopefully we're going to get with them, the more confident we're going to be with them, those kinds of things. Okay, rant over. We go back to the top in that sit to stand motion. And remember, we can use the arms, we can use the knees, or if we're going into unsupported, let's do that as well. See if you can do a little bit extra today that you maybe not necessarily done before. But anyway, here we go. 45 seconds, off we go. Shifting the weight from the bum in the seat up onto the feet. That is our first kind of priority. Regardless of which version you're doing, we're getting the weight up onto the feet. And let's even see if we can just pause there for the briefest of second before we're going back down. We're getting up and we're controlling the weight before we come back down. Maybe we're going all the way up, losing our head in the frame, and all the way back down. All the way up maybe, control, all the way back down. And we've got less than 5 seconds to go. Maybe we're going unsupported. Oh, all the way up, all the way down. Time, good stuff. Great. The reason why that one's always first, and of all the movements we do, I think it's one of the most important, that kind of squat motion, is because it's probably one of the movements that we do more in a day than anything else. If you think about it, it's getting in and out of sofas, chairs, toilets, bed, all those kinds of things require us to take our weight from our butts back onto our feet, which are the kind of the thing that obviously carries us around, as you all know. So the more that we can get comfortable shifting our weight, shifting our balance, and getting onto our feet and then getting out of that situation, the better. And especially in those squat motions, one of those things which is often forgotten is the down part of that movement, because a lot of the time we pop our hands down, we throw ourselves into sofas, fall back into bed, those kinds of things. So those beautiful muscles which are involved in the lowering section are often ignored, which is why I always talk about that rhythm going up and going down. Okay, forward punches next. Remember, good posture, set up straight, shoulders are down away from the ears. Out we go to the front, 45 seconds and then back. Remember, the further your butt is towards the end of that seat, the more balance challenge that's going to be involved in this one. Once again, to the end of your range of motion, slowly back. At the end, slowly back. Even maybe you want to add a slight pause at the end, at full extension, and bring it back. It's a great one to really start to think about that kind of rhythm situation, because this is one of those motions which very rarely is going to be too difficult for us. Straightening an arm and bringing it back. So bring it up and then back. There we go. 45 seconds done. Back down to those beautiful pushing muscles, those big, well, they're not big, but those strong calf muscles. If you think about our calf muscles, they're responsible for keeping us away from the floor, fighting against gravity all day long. Those and those quad muscles, these are our pushing muscles. They're constantly fighting against gravity to keep you up there. So we need them to be nice and strong. So, good body posture. We want to go home from assembly early. And all we're doing, up onto our toes, heels high, pausing, and then lowering down. Remember, it's the pause at the top, at the full range of our motion we're hoping for, and then slowly back down. Butt comes closer to the edge of the seat. This is going to be more challenging from a balance point of view. You may even want to, if you're feeling a little bit advanced, you could even do it standing, either over a work surface or a table, or if your chair's sturdy enough, start from here, Regardless of what you're doing, we're going for 45 seconds, starting in 3, 2, 1, off we go. So if you are up on a surface doing this, you're still doing the pausing, you're still working through it as normal. But what I want you to really take into account is the back position, okay? So I don't want us rolled over with a rolled back. I want you to still kind of keep your head high. Your pelvis isn't tilted back or too far forward. You've got a nice neutral tilt in your pelvis. And you're keeping a good flat back. Shoulder blades are in your back pockets. And it's just high, heel, back down. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Lovely. Core blinding. All right, calf raise is done. We are now going to go into our raised punch. Oh, I tell you, it's great to be back in the gym. Do you like how well stocked my home gym is? Look at this. I've got mirrors I've got mirrors over there. Got all these mats and these steps over here. What location should we work out in next week, do you think? Leave your comments down below somewhere, wherever it is. And maybe we'll work out there next week. Anyway, so the next one we've got, we just did the calf raises, is the high punch. Now remember, bum position, that's our challenging factor. And then we're raising 2 hands at once and back down. And this is, if you remember, this is pushing something up. This isn't just bringing our hands up like a Mexican wave or anything like that. We are really pushing something up. So if we look at it from the side, just ever so slightly, we're sat nice and straight. We're bringing our hands up, so it's like almost like a bicep curl. And then we're pushing up overhead before we're bringing it back down, okay? We're pushing up, bring it back down. Raising the roof because we're still in the clubs, you know, or something along those lines. Whatever that is, whatever vision you want to put in there, off with the 45 seconds. Raise that roof back down to the lap. And one of the key things we're looking for here is that the shoulder travel, okay? The whole time, if you look at what my shoulders are doing, there's no shoulder travel. They're not going high. If we look at my hands high, shoulders up, shoulders down. That's where my shoulders are the entire time. So don't scrunch your shoulders up towards your ears. We don't need that. We're not looking for that further, that much of an extension or anything like that. Got a last few to go through now. 3, 2, 1. Time. Good. All right, we're on to the knee raises. So once again, I'm going to keep saying it. Bum position's key. Obviously, the further your bum is to the edge of the seat, that's challenging our ability to balance in the chair. So set yourself as required from there, and then we're going to go into knee raises. Just like with those calf raises, we are looking to pause at the top for a second, maybe 2 seconds before releasing it down to the floor. And when I say release, I don't mean dropping, slowly bringing it down and slowly in control. So the entire time we're guided by posture, okay? So I want you to make sure that your posture is set. As I said in the last round, if you get to a point and your knee raise brings a break in posture, that's the end of the rep. Bring it back down and then we go from there, okay? So, alternate knee raises starting in 5, 4, 3, 45 seconds. Let's go. Control and back down. Up again. Control, back down. And everything that we're doing, remember, is slow and deliberate. We don't want any kind of gravity taking over. We want to have full control that entire time. And then back down. Up. We're holding. And then slowly back down. Think about that rhythm. 1, 2 second up. Hold. 1, 2 second back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back down to the floor. We've got 5 seconds left, which if you're doing 2, 2, 2, means you're gonna finish on time. There it is, lovely. Knee raise is done. We got 2 more to go until we're finished today. first one that we have is the twist. So we're back up, and remember, it's not the head that's leading the way. No. It's the shoulders which is leading the way. Butt stays in the seat, and it's the shoulder which is leading the way. Your head, we're trying to lock our heads in place as we kind of turn from side to side, which looks super weird, like you've got a burnt neck or something along those lines, or you're a robot moving, you know, those kinds of things. But I really want you to be guided by the shoulder in the twist. Butts in the seat, twisting, led by the shoulder. If you want to put that extra push across the body as well, that's going to give you a little bit more kind of stress, a little bit more muscle activation as well. That option is there as well. And obviously, to make it more difficult, seat adjustment on you. Okay? So we're going for 45 seconds on the twist, side to side. 3, 2, 1, and we're off. And a touch, and back. And really don't throw yourself into either side. It really is the edge of your range of motion. The twisting one's a really good one because you know very quickly when that end of range of motion is. Okay, because you start to make that noise when you get there, when you're breathing, and all those kinds of things, and I'm there, and you're back again from there, okay? And as with every other motion, try and spend just as much time returning to the start as we took going all the way out and back. And then back. Nice and controlled. We've got just under 5 seconds left. 2, 1. Lovely stuff. Okay, and our last movement of the day, which is that floor touch, which is that pendulum one from there. So the key is we're trying to touch the floor, remember, just down the side of our hips. Okay, adjusting our difficulty slider, which is the bum out of the seat. And we're just looking to drop the shoulder towards that side as far as we can to touch the floor. Under the hip, remember? Each and every side. Just like our twists, we're not looking to throw ourselves or drop into it. You're going to get to a natural conclusion of your range of motion and then bring yourself back up. Remember, you do have arms, or you may have arms. So if you do get to a point where you get stuck, you've got something to help support yourself, bring yourself back up. But, you know, I'm pretty sure we won't get to that point from there. Anyway, getting ready to go. We've got 45 seconds, last movement of the day. We'll get into some stretches and then we'll be out of here to enjoy that beautiful weather, which is not over there because there isn't a window there. It's mirrors in my gym wall. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, and away we go. So one of the other things I like you to think about and concentrate on as you're going through this motion is a lot of the time when people have their core involved in movements, they forget to breathe. Now, certainly when you are looking to really stabilize your spine through various motions and you really want to control that core, by stopping your breathing, it can make it feel like that is the case, okay? But you don't need to do it really too much. So do consistently breathe throughout. Don't forget to breathe as we take it from side to side. And remember, think about the timings involved. So if we're taking 1, 2, 1, 2, back up. Time, good stuff. Okay, wonderful stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for that. That's our circuit done for today. So stretching, just like I talked about with consistency at the beginning, range of motion and lengthening that range of motion through stretching is something that needs to be done consistently. And those regulars who are visiting this class again, I'm going to say the same thing I say at the end of every week. Stretching once with me for 5, 6, 7 minutes at the end of the class is not, it's going to do a little tiny bit. But to really get the most out of stretching, it's something you need to commit to doing regularly, once, twice, maybe even up to 3 times a day. During my running rehab, which I'm just coming to the end of now, I was stretching 3 times a day. Getting up, mobilizing, stretching, stopping what I was doing around lunchtime, stretching again, and then sitting in front of the TV for a couple of hours, stretching again then. We're going to do our stretching from the seat, because one of the things I think it's key to do is learning how to do stretching to a degree that you can do it whilst you're multitasking. You know, stretching's boring. No one really enjoys sitting there stretching. It's great to be able to learn to stretch while you can watch TV, whilst you can internet text or whatever the other cool kids are doing, the Twitter book and all those kinds of things. So we're going to do everything from the chair. We're going to start with our legs. So first and foremost, what I'd like you to do, let me turn to the side view for you, just so you can see this. Careful not to scratch my gym floor. Okay, so we're keeping our feet flat on the floor as much as we can. And I would like you to bring one foot forward as far as you can until you can no longer keep the foot flat on the floor. And then bring the other leg as far back as you can while still keeping it flat on the floor. We're not collapsing the knees or anything along those lines. Try and keep them parallel. And once we've got this position, just fold on over as far as you can go. Okay? If you can get and touch the floor, then great. If you can't, not to worry. With stretching, we should only be going into mild discomfort. So if you find you get to a point and you're like, oh, that's definitely on, for this stretch, for example, my hamstring, that's definitely on my hamstring, that's very, very tight. If you can push through it and go even deeper, don't worry about it. You don't need to put all your weight and extra stress on it if it's not comfortable. Okay? So really, mild discomfort is as much as you're looking for. And then what I'd like you to do is that front foot, which is flat on the floor, all you're going to do now is just rotate and draw that toe up. So we're still down in this position. All we're doing by bringing that toe up is now engaging the calf muscle a little bit more. You may find a little bit more of a tug in the back of the knee. You might find a little bit more stretch on, those kinds of things. If you need to adjust it slightly, then you by all means bring yourself back up. That's perfectly fine, and reset. Always kind of reset as necessary to find the stretch. Don't ever just sit in a stretch, feel pain in the joints. Always try and feel it on the muscle. Okay, we're going to come back. And we're just going to switch legs. So the other leg is going to be forward and the other leg is going to be back. And obviously flat on the floor again for both. And then we forward fold as far as we can. Loading the hamstrings as much as you can. Maybe you start to roll a hand down towards your foot, something along those lines. Careful not to fall out of the seat. And as we hold, what we're going to look to do is, remember, if you need to bring yourself up, that's fine, but then we roll the toe high from there, okay? Just engage that calf a little bit more as I turn my stopwatch off. Nice and controlled. And then we bring it on back up. Good stuff. Okay, so oops, I didn't bang into anything at all there because I'm in the middle of my gym. What I'd like you to do next is we're just going to take our feet just outside or as wide as we can really, and then we're just going to once again forward fold and bring ourselves down to the floor, as close to the floor as we can possibly get. Okay, so we're just now forward folding between the legs. Nice deep breaths in. If you can now bring yourself back up, turn yourself towards one of your legs, and then just go for the same motion. Keeping both butt cheeks on the seat as always. If we can get our torso onto our leg, a hand down every side, both sides. Oh, I'm ruining the illusion there, wasn't I? Cutting my own face off. That's great. Totally at the gym. Nobody saw that. And then back up, and then the same on the other side. So we can bring our torso down from there. Oh, my head's been cut off. There we go. And then back up. Lovely stuff. Okay, let's do a couple of stretches on the upper body because that's done some work as well. Make sure you've got space behind the chair. Sit all the way back in the chair. Just take those hands down behind the shoulder blades. Behind the back, and push them down and away from your shoulders. So we're forcing our hands down and away from the shoulders. Good control. Once again, it's kind of a exaggerated version of our good posture. Okay. Great stuff. Then we're going to bring the hands in front of the body. We're going to wrap one over and then the other way, and they're pushing against each other. And as they're pushing against each other, push those arms forward as well, and then drop your head into the bucket you've made. So a great one for our back, stretching on and out. We got a little press in the chest you might be feeling. Keep that good posture from there. And then back out. Good. We take one hand across the body. Now we're not twisting in it or anything like that. Literally going from the side all the way across. When you can't go anymore, hug it into the body. That's it. That's all we're looking to do. Little bit of release from the shoulder area, and then we're going to go across the other way as well. Excellent work. Okay, great work. Okay, so thank you for today. As always, so this is a live and uploaded video as well. If you haven't already, click on the YouTube link, which, fingers crossed, you can see in the comments. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. All the videos are uploaded there as well, so you can revisit any of the different videos that we've done previously, okay? Like I said about consistency, it's about consistently doing the movements. So if you feel up to it and it's not going to, impede on your time, you can always do 1 extra, 2 extra classes, those kinds of things a week from the YouTube account. Also, leave a like on this video, leave a like on the YouTube video if you've watched it there. Drop a comment there, let us know when you've done it, those kinds of things. We're always happy to see who's done it. Some of the videos get like loads of views and everything like that, and no one's clicking that like button. So I'm interested to see why we're scared of the like button. Something like that, who knows? Leave a comment, let us know you're going by, all those kinds of things. Any problems that have occurred out of today, if it's to do with your symptoms, if it's to do with your MS or anything like that, do refer back to those beautiful people down at BrAMS, the neurologists, the nurses, those beautiful physios, whoever you're dealing with down there. Talk to them a little bit more. If there's anything in the class you're unsure about movement-wise, or you want a little bit more advice on some of the movements that are too tricky, or even there's something else that you're having difficulty with that you feel would be worthy of including in the class so we can all develop that movement, let me know via in the comments or DM me directly, okay? And apart from that, have a beautiful rest of your Wednesday daytime, and I will be here same time. I might not be here actually. We'll see where we end up next week. Under the ocean, who knows? But we'll be back again next week for another conditioning for BrAMS. Have a great weekend and rest of your week. Bye-bye.